What is up, my Lorcana Goons, and welcome back to the Lorcana Goons channel. You're watching the Friday Weekly Market Watch. We're joined here with Zach Stone and I. My name is Kevin, and we're going to talk about some Lorcana news, meta trends, and card prices, and some borderline breaking news we got revealed to us yesterday. Huge shout out to Gary Burns here in the Facebook groups for showing these high-res pictures of Powerline and Max Goof over here. Zach, I'm going to make your picture a little bit smaller so we can read these effects together. This is the first time I've seen the Max Goof effect. It's a 3-cost inkable emerald card. These cards are coming out in set 9, right, Zach?
Yes, so these were revealed because on the artwork of the starter decks, there is a Ruby Emerald starter deck, and these are images that were found on these images were actually shared from the official Ravensburger website, and it's really cool that somebody took their time to get the high-res images available for us. We can straight up read Max Goof's effect. And Powerline's like half cut off, so we're still not sure exactly how it works or if there's any specific wording that's on there, but I think we have an idea of what the card's supposed to do. But it's a shift 4, Singer 9. That's crazy. Kevin, I know I talked about this to you and you haven't seen it before. So what are your now initial thoughts knowing what Max Goof does and potentially what Powerline does?
Yeah, so Powerline, Shift 4, Singer 9, 6 Strength, 4 Willpower. That's a pretty crazy body. And it's a 6-cost inkable character, which is nice. Inkability is very nice in Lorcana. You can't really see the ability too much for Powerline. It says once during your turn blank, something sings a song. So I'm assuming it says whenever a character sings a song. Look at the top 4, maybe 5 cards of your deck. I'm going to assume that's what it says. Then you reveal a song card with blank, and then you put the rest of the bottom of your deck. So I'm assuming you grab a song card. Zach, you said kind of like an Ariel Spectacular Singer effect, potentially. That's kind of what it sounds like it's reading. And then Max Goof over here, the Rebellious Teen. When you play this character, you can pay an extra ink to return a song from your discard to your hand that costs 3 or less. I can't really think of immediately how good the Max Goof's going to be, but being able to return songs from your discard to your hand is pretty nice, especially in Emerald. You can maybe return stuff like Sudden Chill, assuming it doesn't get rotated out, or maybe even just other songs that you can sing with your Ursula Deceiver of All. Now you can, now you can set that up, right? You can sing Storm Rage On, and then a couple turns later, you can set up an Ursula Deceiver of All, and you can play Max Goof to grab back that song from the discard pile. This is all assuming these cards, survive the rotation. Post rotation, not sure how I feel about these abilities, right? But I am excited to see Powerline in the Lorcana, universe. It's Singer 9 going to be really cool. Imagine shifting on turn 4 and singing Be Prepared. Oh, you can't. Never mind. Singing, hey. No, you can. It's a Singer 9. He's a Singer 9. That's crazy. You can sing all like the high cost, singable sing together songs with Powerline too. The world's greatest rock star. Very fitting. Very fitting. And a huge shout out to Team Lorcana for keeping us updated on Twitter with the World Tournament information and the hype. We have these player interviews coming out on their Twitter page. So if you guys haven't seen those yet, highly recommend you go watch them. Huge shout out to DKP, the homie over here, who's competing in the Lorcana World Championship, representing Germany, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, Lorcana Worlds happening June 28th through June 29th. Super excited to see this tournament go down. Can't wait to finally see who's going to be crowned the Lorcana World Champion. And while we wait, we get these cool player interviews. Really, what I'm really looking forward to is seeing whether or not they announce future events, because I also want to be a Lorcana World Champion, and I can't get there unless we have some DLCs, right, Zach?
100%, man. Yeah, I am looking forward to not only the players competing in the triple deck strategy, the super sealed format. That's when we're going to know the dates and hopefully venue locations of the next season of DLCs. So if that does come true, I'm going to be excited. You're going to be excited. A lot of our team members and a lot of the Arcana community is going to be excited. So yeah, hopefully we get to see that during this awesome world stream. And good luck to all the players competing in the World Championship.
We forgot to mention this last week, but there's new enchanted discard cards running around, new error cards running around in the Reign of Jafar set. From what I've seen, I've seen this multiple times actually, whether it be on Facebook or Twitter. But there's a new enchanted discard in town. We've seen the enchanted discard sell at a PSA 10 for I forgot how much it was. There was an Instagram post. It was like tens of thousands, right? For sure in the like five digits. It was very expensive. And that card was a black discard with the white text. This one's very interesting. It's a silver discard with black text, and it has those enchanted waves that we're so used to seeing on some of these crazy cards. Zach, I know we have different opinions on this sort of thing. I think it's really cool. I feel like some people feel like there is a market for this. There isn't a market for this. What do you think of this overall in terms of a collectible?
So it's more of like the niche part of the collectible trading card space. Other TCGs have similar misprints. There's even some crazy misprints where two different games are almost printed on the same card. And that's more if you know type of thing. But yeah, this is what is niche to the Lorcana misprint collecting community. And the discards, especially the enchanted discards, are really sought after. I know we got some images of the QR codes, and that's going to actually be another discard card. Actually, those QR codes, when you scan it, comes up with an image of the word discard on it.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. I'm actually just really curious. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go ahead and scan it right now because I've never scanned it before. It's the first time I've actually did this, and that's so funny. It brings up a Google dictionary definition of the word discard. That's actually
It is
hilarious.
probably an inside joke. I'm not joking. It's probably an inside joke with like the production and the printing team. So yeah, I 100% think that this is nice. However, it's more of a niche collectible. Not everyone's too interested in it. Everyone believes that there's value for it, but a lot of people do, and a lot of people throw a lot of money at these kind of cards. So make sure if you guys pull any of these out of your packs, you set them aside because they have some extreme value.
Specifically, we do have an auction that went on, and this was the final bid here. This was an auction that went on in these Facebook groups for misprints, and the winner was this bid at $1,030. That's raw. That's not graded. That's very raw card, and it's not even in the sleeve yet. You guys got to put these in the sleeve before you post these pictures, bro. You're killing me. You are killing me, my Lorcana goons. But let's go ahead and talk about some cards now. I want to talk about some legendaries, some enchanted. Sorry, some of this stuff is out of order, but let's go ahead and start off with some meta trending legendaries like Maui Half Shark, which definitely was a lot cheaper a couple weeks ago in the beginning of June. They were closer to around $35. So I feel like if you didn't pick up Maui Half Sharks before the format started, you kind of missed out because today lowest verified is $44 for your Maui Half Sharks. So they're going to be running more than $40, no longer less than $40 like we've been seeing in some of these recent sales, $37, even as low as $34.69 over here. So I feel like the days of Maui Shark being less than 40 bucks are definitely gone. Cold foils for these cards are going to be at around $60. Lowest verified is $62.97 by J Chart Cards, but we do have Trees TC here. They have multiple of them for $18. However, not a fan of this rating percentage here. So if you guys are buying on TCG Player, always take into consideration this rating. It shows like people's overall sales rating. So this person's a newer seller. They have 100% selling rating. I'd be very comfortable with this person. Whereas in this scenario, 75%, a little bit different. Then you have the verifieds here. The verifieds are sellers who consistently keep that rating, right, Zach?
Yes, it's important to remember that the feedback system on TCG Player is so you guys know who to shop with. Make sure you guys do your due diligence and find those buyers you'd like to shop from.
Another card that I want to bring up is Clarabo, Light on Her Hooves. This card just coming down in price, dude. This was a little bit closer to $20 for the last couple months or so. And I don't know what happened. Like right when June started, right when this new meta started, bam, it just came crashing down. You can find them for as low as $12 with some extra shipping costs for the non-verified sellers. And there's a lot of non-verified sellers, which is really the big thing about this card, right? Lowest verified, you can go all the way down to $17.55 if you want to do that. But you can buy them for way cheaper, about $5 cheaper from a variety of sellers. So there's a lot for sure floating around in the market space for our Clarabelle Light on Her Hooves. The cold foils are also a little bit cheaper, less than $20 today. All Access Card Shop has them from $18. And I think this card's pretty good. And just in general, like it's going to survive the rotation. It's from Shimmering Skies. It lets you draw a bunch of cards. So I feel like there's some potential there for that card to be relevant in the future. Some other cards that I think are going to be relevant in the future might be something like Lady, Family Dog. This card's been kind of going on in price, Zach. I feel like it was around $12 for the last weeks of the last 2 weeks or so. We're only in the second week of Ranger Far format, and right now you can start to find them for a little bit cheaper now. Card Trading Fun for 10.25, lowest verified. This card very powerful in a lot of different strategies, but I feel like I'm really seeing it pop off in Amber Steel right now as of lately, right?
Yeah, it's not really doing too much in a Chernodog deck. Like I did mention before, is that it's not a card that you need to be playing in the list. You can get away with just removing it completely. But the $18 cold foils is a good thing to mention too, because it's roughly double or a little less than double the price of a non-foil. And that's usually a good sign. That's usually a really good sign for a lot of these cards. Another card that's actually showing a lot of good signs right now and showing up a lot in the meta decks is the Power Hamster Rhino. This is the shift to 4 cost 4/3 with resist 2 and 2 lore. And again, this is just a very strong card. I am a huge enjoyer of Amber Steel, as you guys all know, and I have 4 copies of this card in my current deck list. It's a very powerful card. It sings your Along Came Zeus's. It deals with a lot of the characters that people are putting in play, and a lot of the times there's just more cards being played to respond to this card in the meta. Kevin, I know you actually talked about Chernobog's followers and Merlin Crab as like a combo or pieces that you feel like you need to be playing to deal with this Rhino. And yeah, like overall, I'm pretty satisfied with the way this card has been performing. And have you been trying it out at all, Kevin? Do you play any Amber Steel?
I am not the biggest enjoyer of Amber Steel. I think the deck is very strong. I think opening up turn 1 Cinderella, seeing Storm Rage on is so good, and I think Rhino lets you do that, expand on that possibility, right? Because you can go Rhino turn 1, shift Rhino turn 2, still seeing Storm Rage on, which is just as good as turn 1 Cinderella, and then turn 2 seeing a Storm Rage on. But yeah, like you said, man, Rhino can pretty much sing most of your songs. Strength of a Raging Fire, Storm, Along Came Zeus. He's a 4 cost body, so all you need is a 3 cost or lower character to be able to sing Beyond the Horizon. Or if you have a Cinderella on the field already, then you can use both of these cards to sing Beyond the Horizon. It's a very strong card. I'm actually pretty surprised at how it's kind of taking over slash dominating the meta. And like you were saying, yeah, whenever I'm building Amethyst is like my favorite color. So whenever I'm building Amethyst now, I feel like I'm mandatory putting 4 Chernobog, 4 Crab, because I just want to have the highest possibility of clearing this Rhino effectively. And there are other people playing other cards too to combat this Rhino. We've been seeing people play cards like the Ursula, the Mad Witch Queen, which will have Challenger, plus Crab will let you clear the Rhino as well. And yeah, so it's around what do we see right now? What was the price? It was around $8, sorry, $10 plus shipping. The lowest verified right here. But for a non-foil, then it jumps to $13. These are non-foils. Non-foil super rare rhinos, $10 and $13 are the lowest listings. Cold foils today, there's only a couple listings left. Lowest non-verified is 15 with $2 shipping. Then cards nerd, $18. I would totally feel comfortable paying $5 more, maybe like $7 more for this foil rhino, as opposed to getting the non-foil for $10 to $13. You know what I mean? But yeah, a couple of ways to out the rhino though. It's not the end of the world. This is a card that I've been really looking at. No, not really people, not many people paying attention to it. In my opinion, there are some sales going down in the recent time frame, but I do feel like people are sleeping on this Rafiki Mystic Fighter. Play this on turn 1. Your opponent can't quest with Calhoun, Smee. If they quest with Rhino, this plus a Crab clears the Rhino. It's a 1-cost card. Being able to play 2 1-cost characters on turn 2 against Amber Steel is sometimes what you need to do. So I prefer to play 2 of these, or like this plus a Chernobog on turn 2, as opposed to playing a Ursula or something like that. But yeah, I think people are sleeping on this card. I know, Zach, you mentioned that a lot of the world's competitors, a lot of them who are normally openly sharing their deck list information, their card ideas, they're very quiet right now. Right now where there's no major events for Lorcana, so I feel like a lot of people are kind of very quiet right now, right? So I think cards like this are very good, and I would like to see if they make an impact in the future meta.
100%. There's a lot at stake for the World Championship. So we at Lorcana Goons totally understand why they're keeping some of that information privated. We are going to talk about some of the cards that, we think are pretty good, and this is one of them. So if you guys haven't gotten your cold foil Rafikis yet, you might want to pick some up, or you might not, because we don't know what's coming in the post rotation. But this Donald Duck coin collector is a card I wanted to bring up. The Piggy Bank Donald here, because This is a awesome card. I When I first saw this, I immediately thought, "Oh, this is going to have potential." And right out the gate, there's already an OTK deck being played with this card. So, if you guys don't know, it involves the Monstro, the monstrous whale. It's the new one, and that ability can re-ready himself whenever you discard a card. So you're able to just draw a bunch of cards if you have his ink already dry and you play this Donald. Kevin yesterday on stream played against somebody with this deck, and I think they queued against him twice, right?
Yeah, twice, twice.
So,
Was able to
so
take those wins. It is a scary deck though. I think the ability to give your characters extra draw a card is actually pretty crazy. This Donald is not something to sleep on.
yeah, so you guys did not get to catch that live stream yesterday. Go ahead and check back on our video yesterday, so you guys can actually hear about this deck, and the person piloting it explains the combo pretty well.
We have some updates on our Lady and the Tramp decks, our Trinidad decks. These are still kind of expensive, and in my opinion, I haven't really been seeing a lot of Trinidad success, yellow green success in these recent tournaments. It's up there. You see like some wins and some top eights, but it's not as like popular or dominating, I would say, as like Ember Steel. So I'm pretty surprised to see that the Tramp Enterprising Dog non-foil is still selling for close to $5, right? So if you have these, I'd say just keep them in your binder, try and get some good trades out of them. 380 with $1.31 shipping, pretty much $4 to $5 is what you're going to be paying after all those shipping fees. Cold foil of these tramps are pretty cheap, man, around $7 market price. We have a lowest verified 550 with the dollar shipping, then 774 right here, shipping included for your foil version of this tramp. Not too much more expensive than the cold foil, because remember guys, there is an enchanted version of that card. So yeah, for the most part, the enchanted version is going to be the highest rarity, so the cold foils aren't usually that expensive, which is why I think it's a decent pickup. Tramp, the Street Smart Dog, however, which is funny because I think both of them are staples and both of them are rares, but for whatever reason, the low cost one is a little bit worth more. I think this card is pretty good still. Cold foils, wow, cold foils are really up there today. Market price is $6.35, but lowest listing is $10.93, basically $11, almost double the price of the market price. This card just shooting up in price. Oh, look at this. All the recent sales were around $6, $7, $6, $5, and they're all gone now. So you're gonna have to pay a little bit more than $5 to $6 for your Tramp, the Street Smart Dog, if you want to play your Lady in the Tramp deck, max rarity cold foil, and then we also have the Tramp Dapper Rascal. Getting some love still. This card from the most recent set selling for around $3, and I think that's still pretty expensive for a card that honestly I do not even play in my Lady in the Tramp deck.
Yes, there's like a couple cards from the newest set that we thought were going to be the most breakout cards of the current set aren't really seeing a lot of play, or the deck really isn't doing too well. It's kind of interesting. Our initial thoughts aren't really represented in the first few weeks of the metagame development. So you never know, guys. You guys got to try out some different ideas. You guys got to see what's going on. And there's a lot of the cards still available in the card pool. So until that rotation happens, we aren't going to really know the effects of a lot of these cards. But Tipo, Growing Sun cold foils today are shooting up. I want to shout out Eddie from the Lorcana Cookout for this one, because he brought up the fact that this cold foil Tipo was getting bought out like crazy. So we did notice that this card was always around $7 to $8 cold foil, pretty expensive. But now today, your lowest available copy, look, Kevin just refreshed it and two more were gone. So you have to spend about $16, $17
Wow.
to get one. But if you want to get four from the same seller, they're 25 a piece. But
Wow.
how much are people actually paying for these Tipos right now, Kevin? Let's take a
hmm
look. So we got
hmm
$12. People are willing to spend this amount of money to get these cards, man. I like it, Kevin. Do you have cold foil Tipos? Do you play Sapphire at all?
I am a Sapphire appreciator every now and then, not necessarily Sapphire Ruby, just because I didn't really want to play with the Maui Sharks I had and whatnot, right? It's so expensive, but I like Sapphire. I'm just a big fan of Sapphire Emerald actually, and overall maybe something like Sapphire Amber would be really cool. I'm the more of like one of those like rogue enjoyers for those type of color combos, but yeah, T-Po's just broken, bro. It's a set 5 card. It's gonna survive the rotation, so that makes a lot of sense, right? And I think we're gonna start seeing that. I think we're gonna start seeing like set 5 staples, set 5 cold foil staples kind of start going up in price the way first chapter cold foil staples used to go. Especially post rotation, man, like the Clarabelle, this card, Daisy Duck, a lot of these like really big staple cards that you see in like every of that color combo. They're gonna hold value. They're gonna hold value, right? So really nice to see this card's $15. I feel like Tipo has just been dominating the meta since it came out, and it's either this or you're playing Sale, right? And they're both heavy hitting cards that are, I think they're gonna stick around for the future of the game too, right? Some other cool cards that have been making big waves that are probably gonna stick around in the future. Pull the lever, the deals, the league promo, the league promo for pull the lever today. We're gonna talk about because these are selling for around $5 each. Pretty cool. A lot of the league promos don't sell for very much, Zach Stone. That's why I bring this one up, and I think the reason why this one is selling for at least $5 is because the deck is relevant. Like the green purple pull the lever wrong lever deck is actually a real deck, and I love to see it for the reason that I enjoy the the Emperor's New Groove lore of like the pull the lever Kronk thing. I think it's hilarious, and just the fact that we have a wrong lever enchanted. So some of these prices are looking pretty good today. Wrong lever, the non-foil today is selling for around $2. Lowest verified by Dada's Cards over here. You can go through some non-verified sellers, but you're still gonna probably pay at least $1 with some extra shipping fees. And if you want a cold foil wrong lever, these are selling for around $5 today. Tabletop Treasures $4.63 with some extra shipping right there. Shipping included, you're probably paying around $6 for your cold foil wrong lever. And if you want the shiniest version of wrong lever, which I think the artwork is hilarious, by the way, I love seeing Yzma just fall through the fall through the tunnel right here. So if you want this version, only $80. Market price was 86. Lowest verified is going to be 86 right there. Non-verified seller, $80 with $5 shipping. So less than 90 still currently. Not too many listings, less than $90. But this deck is real. This deck is very real, man. And I get the feeling that if the Tramp Enchanted can settle at around 150, then this card can for sure settle at more than $100. Mainly because I just feel like this deck is even more relevant than the Lady and the Tramp deck right now. What do you think?
I do like the fact that there's some strategies with Diablo or even the 2-drop Yzma from Arcasia's Island that allow you to put the pull the lever into the discard without having to play it. And that's what I like about this card too, is that like you just need to have one in your discard pile and you put one on the bottom. Make sure you guys are actually following through and properly putting this card back onto the bottom of your deck. If you're activating this ability, it's important to know that if that card is still in your discard pile, you're going to be able to use that other ability of wrong lever over and over again. And you don't want to make the wrong move because it's not a good one to make. Don't worry. If you make the wrong move, it means no worries. You can always go ahead and fix that. But this one is one I really wanted to bring up because this enchanted price is going nuts. This Sing Together 9 cost card, which Powerline can sing, is going up to almost $120 today. Your lowest verified from Chaos Games has you at about that price with the shipping. But look at this, guys, 12 listings, and there's not a consistent number. There's not a good median to really reference because once the first four or three listings go, you have a $140 enchanted, and then after those ones go, you have a $150 enchanted. This card is going nuts, but I don't see it being played. Is it because of the collectability aspect? I'm not too sure. I don't have any of these. I didn't think that this card was that crazy when I first read it, to be honest, but overall, I love this artwork. I actually never really got to look at the artwork in detail till now, Kevin, and I love it. I actually see why it's $130.
The artwork is beautiful. The actual effect of the card, it's kind of cheesy as of right now. It's funny, Amber. I got a bone to pick with Amber, by the way. If anybody from Team Lorcana watches this, why does Amber have so many like discard abilities, like your discard pile abilities, like graveyard abilities? You have so many Amber cards that say grab cards from your discard, ink from your discard, play a card from your discard. But there's no the only inherent Amber card that adds cards to your discard pile is Dale. Not mistaken, that's Dale, right? The one that mills 3. And then there's a Calhoun that you discard a card to lower your opponent's strength. There's no other cards in the Amber card pool that let you get cards into your discard pile. That's why this card is buns. But in the future, if they actually do add more cards like Dale that let you mill, add more cards to your discard pile, this card could be really good. Seeing it with Powerline on turn 4, you grab 3 from your discard and you get to pay 2 less for the next card you play. Artwork wise, chef's kiss. Love it. I wish the card was better. I wish I could play this in a real deck, right? Because it's such a beautiful looking card. You have Rafiki holding up the orb. It's like he's holding up like a memory. If you've ever seen Inside Out, it's like he's holding up a core memory. I love it. I love it. Yeah, so I think the collectability is the main reason why it's going up in price. Shout out Javi, by the way. Lion King is like his favorite IP, and that's what got him into Lorcana. And he actually, dude, he played the tournament. We gave him a first chapter pack as part of a raffle because he won the raffle. He opens the first chapter pack, pulls a Mickey Artful Rogue, decides to trade that in for a booster box of Reign of Jafar, opens this enchanted. It means no worries from the Reign of Jafar booster box that he traded it in for. That was really cool, actually. And he loves Lion King. So huge shout out, Javi, for joining us at our local tournaments at Ninja Exchange in Carlsbad Friday nights. And I'm there Saturday and Sundays if you guys ever want to come by, pick up some cards. That's in North San Diego County. And Zach Stone, where are you on weekends so the Lorcana Goons community can go meet you in person?
Yes, guys. First of all, I want to thank anybody that comes and visits me at the Frank and Son Collectible Show in the City of Industry. It's open every Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. So make sure you guys stop in the card dungeon. It's booth M4 when you walk in on your left hand side, and I'm all the way in the corner. So even if you just want to come say hi, I still love to see the friendly faces and the amazing people from the Lorcana community.
And one of the cheapest, if not the cheapest, enchanted rares from Reign of Jafar is this Wreckit Ralph Big Lug. It's this card and the Sword of Shan Yu. Those two are competing for the least expensive enchanted in that set. Lowest verified right now. Yeah, lowest verified right now is $57.99 by Sunshine Games, but it doesn't even look like people are trying to pay that much because the recent sale is $56, $51, $45. Those are the recent sales, and they've been in the last couple days or so. So I again, like, I'm not super excited for some of these enchanteds. Like, I wish they made more enchanteds playable. You know what I mean? And I don't think this card's that good. I think the other Wreck-It Ralph that grabs back a princess and gives you Lorish is way better anyways, and this one restricts you to racers. It is a Floodborn character, and there is that Ruby Wreck-It Ralph that makes it a lot more playable, I guess, but not my favorite. It's a very cheap enchanted rare, but it could be, you never know. There could be a racer meta in our future, and then that card ends up being like a 100 plus enchanted rare, right? Ooh, let's talk about the Hero Himada, the Armored Designer. This is your Set Champs promo from last season. Set Champs is finally over, now we can finally see the true price of these cards, and market price is $27 for our Hero Himada, but the recent sales are gonna tell a different story. Lowest verified is $23.99 by Addict Stock over here. Then Apoda Green Tree has it for $24 as well. Recent sales are, three of them for $23. We have one for $28, but before that, $24, $23, $23. Less than $25 this time around for your Set Champs promo. I feel like the best ones so far have been maybe the Scar or the Stitch, because that's the first one, or the Ursula Sea Witch Queen. Obviously, the Stitch and the Ursula are a little bit different because they were only for top 4, so those two kind of kept a heftier price. And we've been seeing people play this Ursula Sea Witch Queen in Emerald Amethyst and Ruby Amethyst, a lot of Amethyst decks, because it does stop your opponent from singing songs, and Amber Steel is so dominant right now, so this card is a spicy tech. And Zach and I wanted to see if any people were playing this version in their decks, and it doesn't look like people have committed to that yet, because there's not too many recent sales. Last sale was on the 10th, then the 5th, then a month before on the 31st, right? So not much sales movement on this enchanted store championship promo. Lowest verified is $85.45, but again, people are playing this card in their deck. So, but one of the things about this card is that there's this version, there's the legendary version, there's the foil legendary version, and there's the other enchanted version of this card. So this card has four versions, so I don't expect it to ever be like super expensive in price either. And last but not least, we're gonna go over Stitch Experiment 626, another enchanted rare from Reign of Jafar that you can possibly pull if you're still opening up those booster boxes. Market price is less than $200, but lowest verified $204 by TC War Room, $5 shipping, then $208, $2 shipping by City of Games. So around $200 to $210 for your Stitch Experiment 626. And yeah, all the recent sales are kind of bouncing around from $190 to $205, $210. So anywhere around there for your Stitch, which is really cool. Right? Stitch is it's a very beloved character, and I'm glad to see that it's still maintaining its price point of more than $200. That means you can pull some decent enchanted rares from your Reign of Jafar set, right, Zach?
Yeah, I think overall the collectability from the enchanted from the set was chef's kiss, like you said. The artwork's impeccable, and I like the fact that like there's like 4 stitches on that art, right? Like there's like 3 of them are like scattered around the main one in the centerpiece. And it's crazy to see that the tongue lick has like the little like saliva left over. The detail is awesome. I've actually gotten to see one of these in person, and it looks fantastic. So yeah, I think the effect isn't the worst. I would actually like to see this kind of be used as like a mill strategy, because you do have to put an opponent's card from the top of the deck into their inkwell, and who knows, maybe post rotation that kind of strategy will be viable.
Yeah, all in all, I think it could have some potential in the future, but it's Stitch. Like that's the really what the best part about it. It's a Stitch card, and everyone loves Stitch. And I like that you mentioned the detail on the saliva because I didn't even notice that. Didn't even notice that until you said that. So very cool card, very cool card indeed. Before we call it a day, Zach Stone, first chapter booster boxes have been going down in price exponentially. What is going on? And it's very interesting because you would think that the closer we get to rotation, the closer we get to this idea that sets that are being rotated out or won't be printed again. Unless they really hit hard with the Infinity format. But yeah, I don't know what happened, man. These just came crashing down. People were asking around close to $400 for your first chapter booster boxes online, and yeah, and in the last month or so, lowest verified is now $357, 360. We've kind of seen this happen time and time again. These booster boxes have gone from 350 on the original first opening day down to 150, which was MSRP, and back up to almost $400. So it's just going everywhere, man. I know you don't have like much opinions on the first chapter sealed, Zach, but do you have a first chapter sealed box still, just like this for yourself?
I have a case sealed. I have like boxes loose. I even have first print boxes loose. But uh honestly, I didn't like hold these from like the very beginning. I've just been buying some of these. I Frankensons people will bring me a plethora of Lorcana stuff, singles, enchanted, and even sealed product and promos. And I just like to buy certain stuff. I do want to sell them. I'm not like holding them or hoarding them. It's just they don't sell either. I haven't sold the box in almost a month or maybe even longer than that. So it does kind of reflect that, the how amount that sells online would be way less in the comparison than like a store would sell or like an individual would sell. But it's a good representation because it does kind of show you that there is some interest in stuff like this, but not everyone pulls the trigger. They want to wait for the best price. And I don't blame you guys, but you'll never know when the best price is. So thank you guys for watching our Market Watch videos to find out the best prices. And if you guys are still here at the end of this video, thank you again for being a longtime supporter of our content. If you guys are not in our Discord, make sure you guys join with our link down below. Our community is popping off, and we got people sharing deck lists, talking about these cards, talking about some of the reveals that we're getting. And overall, I can't wait for the World's Watch Party. Make sure you guys stay tuned June 28th and 29th to watch the World's players compete for their prizing. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we sign everybody off tonight, Kevin?
Like, comment, subscribe if you want to support the Lorcana Goons community, and be sure to leave some comments below on what you think of these new Powerline Max Goof cards, what you're looking forward to in the World Tournament, and any card prices that we may or may not have missed. That way we can bring it up in our Discord. We have a Market Watch section in our Discord as well, so if you guys want to get more involved on that level, be sure to join. But until then, remember to stay tuned to Lorcana Goons, and we'll see you Goons next time.